first. We're proud to do the same on the country's best netball courts. Welcome to O&M Live Netball on 1494 2AY.
Hello and welcome to O&M Netball from McRae Motors. We are here at the Lavington Sports Ground for a second versus third clash between the Lavington Panthers, the dark horse of the season, and the Yarrawonga Pigeons, who have yet to play their best netball of the season. My name's Hannah Davies and I'm joined today in commentary by Ree Dolahenti and our newest sideline reporter, Tamara Matthews. Tamara, how are you going?
I'm good, Ree. Good, Han. Good to be back.
Very good. And Ree, how about yourself?
Yeah, well, thank you. Battled a little bit of a cold this week, so hopefully that doesn't do too much disservice to the call. But no, ready, raring to go. Just seeing these ominous clouds coming over and hoping that maybe the sun is behind them. But I would like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we broadcast from today, the Wiradjuri people, and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and extend this respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people here today.
Well, Ree and Tamara, what a clash we have today. But before we lock eyes on today's court, let's have a look at the overall ladder. Tamara, run me through it. What are we seeing?
Look, we've got Corowa sitting fairly comfortably out in front, 40 points. So a couple of games clear, and I can't see them losing that spot. I think they've probably secured that. But this is where today's game's at. Yarrawonga sitting second on percentage ahead of Lavington. So equal on 32 points each, but Yarrawonga with just a slightly better margin on the percentage. Wangaratta sitting back in fourth. That loss last week, I think, hurt them. They're a couple of games now behind on 24 points. And North will be round out the five on 22 points. Only 2 points clear of Albury sitting in sixth. So I'm really looking forward to this back end of the season.
Absolutely. So 2 versus 3, each team really wanting to secure that second place. And Ree, we've spoken a little bit about the Yarrawonga Pigeons and how they're kind of building up to this game in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw probably in the wet the damage that they did to Albury Tigers a few weeks ago. They were a really class act for 4 quarters, but particularly that second half, they made a couple of key changes and really ran with that considering the conditions. Likewise to Lavington, they've had a few really big wins, but also a surprise loss to Wang Magpies in there. So they came back after that firing and posted a few really good score lines and good score margins. So if it comes down to percentage towards this back end, it'll be really interesting because at the moment there really is only a couple of percent splitting those two teams there. I think the winner of this game though gets that real advantage in this back end of the season because I think both teams only have 1 or 2 of those probably stronger games left. So this might give them the little buffer that they need to take that second spot.
So as we see the players warming up now, let's take a look at last week's results. So Yarrawonga defeated the Wang Magpies 50-40. Lavington also secured the win over the Raiders by 22. So 2 really
Great game. We obviously broadcast that, live streamed it. Yarrawonga, it felt like their margin probably should have been more. I felt like they controlled that game. And look, Wangaratta have got a pretty tough run coming home. So they will really be ruining that loss. And Lavington, a big win over Raiders who just can't find the consistency. Able to put together 1 or 2 good quarters, but really trying to build towards a 4-quarter effort.
And Raiders also a team playing today looking for a win to get them that game closer to that top 5 and 6 to really make this back end of the season really interesting. They're up against a Wang Rovers who had a pretty convincing loss to Albury Tigers, which the Tigers girls will be really happy with. So that could be an interesting game in how it plays out today in that between 4th to 7th spot. But yeah, Wangaratta Magpies, unfortunately, they just couldn't close out the game and Yarrawonga were just too strong, particularly in those key positions. But interestingly, that last quarter, Laura Irvine, coach, and Bridget Cassar were both on the sideline. They were as happy as Larry as a squad of players as well, and they were just really comfortable. So that's really showcasing their depth at the minute.
So speaking of lineups, let's take a look at the Insight Injury Clinic team card. So we'll start with the home team, the Lavington Panthers. It's a pretty classic lineup from them. We heard a few rumours of injury or unavailability from Em Stewart and Maddie Lloyd, but they are here on court today and warming up. So we can just assume that they're ready and fit to play.
And it looks like it. They've warmed up with the team. So the Lavington Panthers today will be starting with Maddie Plunkett in goal shooter, joined by Emily Stewart in goal attack, Tony Wilson, medalist naturalist Maddie Lloyd in wing attack, Ange DeMamiel, centre. In wing defence, Steph Clancy. Goal defence, youngster Grace Hay, joined by Maggie Thompson in that goalkeeper position, with a substitution bench of Olivia Sanson, Sarah Meredith and Christine. Now, Tam, can you help me with the pronunciation of Christine's last name?
I actually asked Christine this a while ago. Aguchi.
Aguchi, perfect. So Christine Aguchi, who there was a beautifully written article about her in the Border Mail this week, and she's just starred in B grade. She gives so much height. She's just one to really, really watch.
And not just B grade, Ree. I was speaking to Linda before the game this week. Obviously, we've seen her in B grade, so why the elevation? Recently this week, she actually played for the City West Falcons in the under-19 VNL division, and Linda sent me the highlights, and they were great. She is forming a really beautiful holding position, and just learning to use her body, and especially, you know, with a feeder like Maddie Lloyd in wing attack, if she can hit the top of the circle, she'll be unstoppable.
And really, for someone that's, all of 16, 17, she reminds me of a Romelda Aitken, a Janine Fowler, like that kind of body shape, presence on court, and she's smiling the whole time. She just looks like she's having a great time. So if she can get out there, that will be a really, really interesting way for how they can work that in.
Completely agree, and I think the other thing about it is that it gives that healthy competition for a Maddie Plunkett. We'll take a look at the hot shots soon, but Maddie Plunkett's probably most famous for her rebounds, so it kind of gives her and Lavington that extra bit of competition to even get on court. Tam, would you run me through the Pigeons lineup now?
Yeah, look, Yarrawonga, a very, very experienced side that are stepping out onto this court today. So they're starting Hannah Symes in goalkeeper. Hannah hasn't started, or didn't start last week, so they're going to start with her. Annalise Grinter in goal defence. Laura Ryan, who's playing great netball, is out on wing defence. Laura Irvine, steady as anything in the centre. Kylie Leslie's gone back to wing attack this week. Sarah Moore in her position goal attack, and Maddie Allen in goal shooter. And their bench is Liv Lovell, Tilly Kennedy, who's starting off this week, and Tess Burns, who's come in because Bridget Cass is unavailable.
Yeah, so another really strong lineup from the Pigeons, especially starting with Sarah Moore. We've obviously seen glimpses and her progression so far this season, and her accuracy. Ree, shall we take a look at the hot shots, because she's standing up pretty tall in that?
Well, and considering she has missed a fair chunk of the first half of the season, she's only played something like 5 or 6 of the games there, and she's sitting in 4th at an accuracy of 77.12. So we'll give her that. We'll make it around 77. But that'll be something that Sayers will be she really prides herself on. She gets out there, practices every day, and really wants to work through that. We saw what damage she can do, particularly that game where she came back from injury against Albury Tigers. She just turned and shot, and I think, Tamara, you'll agree with that if Sayers is just turning and shooting, that's her natural game. And the Lavington Panthers ground, though she's in different colours now, is very much home turf for her.
Absolutely. Once she's focused and in that zone, she's very hard to beat. And look, she loves nothing more than coming up against really strong opposition. So she will be absolutely backing herself. I know she was really disappointed in her performance against Grace the first time they played. So I think she will be personally challenging herself to have a much better game.
And we also touched in the show with Robbie and Gus earlier today that Sarah Zanini Moore, she actually coached Grace Hay in the juniors here at Lavington. So it's really nice to see that kind of full circle come around as well. And Laura Ryan in wing defence, I actually think she's going to be the difference today. We gave her an Urban Greys Player of the Day last week, but if she can really shut down the drive of Maddie Lloyd to the circle, it makes the feed into the circle so much harder, and then that gives the likes of Hannah Symes, Annalise Grinter, if Kylie Leslie drops back into that circle, Liv Lovell, there are all the names, it gives them the opportunity to come out hunting.
Yeah, we saw that the other week against Albury when Maddie Lloyd was shut down. It really did put the pressure on those passes in, and I think the two wing matchups today, both Maddie Lloyd and Laura Ryan, and I also think Steph Clancy and Kylie Leslie is going to be an interesting one to watch. A different, we're not used to seeing Kylie Leslie in wing attack prior to this season, and I think this will be a really interesting matchup as well. Kylie's got the height. Steph's normally taller than her opponent, so this is going to be interesting for her to challenge her.
I think with Kylie Leslie as well, obviously you expect her in that defensive position, so whenever there is a turnover, she is straight on it, and she has the capability to turn the game back over and to win the ball. So I think putting her in that wing attack position has really been helpful for the Pigeons. But also Tilly Kennedy on the bench, we know what she can do. She's VNL experienced, Geelong. She's just such an impact player when she steps on court.
And again, someone that is so young. We're talking about all this youth coming through, which is great for our competition, but she's really taking on board whatever's happening down there at VNL. She obviously can't train with the Pigeons every single week, although I think she's on uni break at the moment, so they've got her a little bit more. But she's really taking on board whatever feedback they're giving her and just trying to implement it into the Yarrawonga Pigeons lineup, which I think is just another strength to their bow.
So ladies, who is winning and what will win it for them, Bree?
I'm going to go the Pigeons. I think we haven't, I've said this a few weeks in a row, I don't think we've seen 4 of their best quarters strung together yet. I think Albury Tigers was a really good glimpse of that. Last week they probably were really good for maybe 10 minutes of each quarter, but there were lapses. So I'm going to call it, but I'm going to say 3 goals. I don't think there's going to be a lot in it, but Yarrawonga Pigeons for me today.
And Tam, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I have to agree with Ree. Having seen them a few times recently, I just think they have a little bit more depth and they've got answers. So if they go out in that first quarter and that first half and a combination's not working, they've got some fairly handy players on their bench that they can to bring on and change up the matchups. And I just think their defenders are going to make life really hard for these Lavy attackers today.
Well, look, good thing I'm going for Lavington because I feel a bit outnumbered right now, but I am going to go for Lavington. Let's talk a little bit about the last few games for them. Obviously, they started really strong, probably stronger than we were expecting based on previous seasons so far, but they kind of trickled off in the past few weeks. So this game is really important for them. They built the confidence last week, and now they need to prove they can do it again.
And I think probably the week where Albury really pushed them, that 1-goal win that they had, which probably Albury should have won. I think that was the turning point for them where they kind of maybe went, oh, we're not quite there yet. We still have a lot of work to go, which I don't think is a bad thing either. Sometimes when you're all guns blazing, I've been in a team like that, you finish the season and you go out in straight sets. It's not what you want to happen. So I don't think a few losses for them will be bad, but I do think they're gaining momentum again. I'm just interested to see if they've made any changes to how their combinations run and what plays they go with, because I think perhaps their plays could start to become predictable, particularly as teams start to play them for a second time.
Yeah, look, I would agree. I think they've got some good depth off their bench, particularly in the defensive end with the Sarah Merida sitting there now, but also their attacking end. And they can move from a holding shooter in Maddie to an Emily and a Liv where you have a much more mobile shooting circle. So I think it'd be interesting to see if they utilise that a little bit more against some of these sides, against a Yarrawonga today coming into finals.
And for Yarrawonga, obviously missing Bridget Casa today, missed her last week as well. What's it been like, ladies, replacing a Bridget Casa?
I think they've been so fortunate in the pickup of Maddie Allen. We've seen a little bit of her and her interjection into the game. So we were interested to see how that combination between her and Sarah Moore played out last week, because we mentioned they hadn't played a lot together because of Sarah's injury and because Maddie's been travelling. But they really... The first 5 minutes were a bit hit and miss while they were trying to work out what each other was doing. But by the end of that game, it kind of looked like they'd been playing together for a long time, which I think as well is something that Sarah Moore does well with whoever she plays with. She really just helps them to play it out. And I think Maddie Allen's great she will turn and shoot as well. We've seen her be really dominant in that mid-range shot and as well for going in for the rebound. So I think she gives a little bit of height in there, maybe not the body strength that a Bridget Cassar gives, but possibly a little bit more movement. So I expect to see them have a little bit of a play around with it. They might get her to hold a bit like Bridget would, but she's got the speed and the light feet there that she could really dominate that baseline with a strong baseline drive.
And Lavy won't know her. She only played a quarter against them last time I looked at that. So they're very familiar, the Lavington defenders, with Bridget. They know how she plays and how she likes to set up. So this is something slightly different for them to have to adapt to. I think Yarrawonga are so patient and so steady around the circle, and that allows Maddie time to set up. And then Sarah, obviously, as Reed touched on, is very smart with the feed. So as long as Maddie's in a position for a clean ball, they'll get her the ball. So I think that'll be interesting to see how that all works today.
And Tam, I want to know, are the players re-watching the live streams and doing their homework on their individual opposition?
I don't know for sure. I know there would be some that absolutely would be, and I could name a lot of those off the top of my head. And I think there's others that probably don't, that perhaps yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, just aren't into it quite as much. I would like to think the coaches are. I think, if they're not, then they're really not doing their homework, are they? But I think they should be, particularly given that we've been covering some of these top sides who they're going to see in finals.
And look, if we talk about our friend Alison Miani, a couple of Falcons are on screen, so I'm sure the Albury Tigers girls have checked in and made that a slow-mo repeat, and I'm sure come the birthday that might make a social media comeback, which is great. But yeah, I think a tool for the coaches, definitely. And I would think if I was a player, I'd probably like to watch a few bits and pieces just to see where I can improve.
So we're 30 seconds away from the first centre pass. Last time these two teams played was back in April, round 1. Lavington won 49-38 by 11. But ladies, neither of us are calling an 11 margin. I don't think I gave mine, but if Lavington are to win, I'm thinking by 1 or 2.
Yep, I think it is going to be a ripper. And if those clouds, which I think are going, the court's just going to dry out that little bit more, and I expect the pace of the game to just keep going up and up.
So Lavington starting us off with the centre pass. Maddie Lloyd goes to Steph Clancy and feeding back. Maggie Thompson in goal defence. So Grace Hayes gone to keeper.
A quick transition from the Pigeons. I don't know who got a hand on that, but they've quickly transitioned that ball from midway through their attacking centre third and into the hands of Sarah Moore. Passes off, a few fingers in the way there.
I don't know how that happened.
Maddie Allen gains control, and off the Lavington Panthers' first centre pass, the Yarrawonga Pigeons score.
So a really calm start for the Pigeons so far. Beautiful pass into Irvine and to Allen.
Just working the double play nicely there, back in, but the strength of Grace Hay under that ring. So that'll be something that the Pigeons can't afford. They can't afford a second shot at goal because Grace will be all over those.
And there's Stewart, goes into Plunkett, but as we know, she likes to get closer. She's working it in, but Hannah Symes already gets a hand on it.
A nice play there from the Pigeons defenders. They really worked that circle to not get the ball going up and into Maddie Plunkett's hands. Emily Stewart now with the ball. A short shot there, but she gets a second go and she nets that one. So we've got 1-1 here at the Lavington Panthers Sports Ground.
And so goes to Lloyd. Into Plunkett, and again, Em Stewart, look, what a little fadeaway shot.
Oh, but we can't get too excited because she must have been out of court before she let go of it. So we won't call that, we'll call that an almost 3D Lanes highlight of the day.
We have a lot of those, really.
Preempting what's going to happen. But the Yarrawonga Pigeons in the hand of Grinter. A replay call there. So Steph Clancy midway here in the Lavington attack end, heading down to their attacking third. Lloyd goes to her defender in Maggie Thompson, but a held call as well, and there was probably 3 options there. She just couldn't decide which one was the right one.
Probably a few early nerves in this first quarter for Cavalier Holmes. As we see Moore, and she'll go over to Allen, but it's just flown out of court. So I think just warming up into that connection between Allen and Moore.
Clancy into Demamiel, a nice outlet pass. I don't think Ange was ready for that one, but onto Lloyd. Stewart, Maggie Thompson, back to Ange Demamiel, who puts it up to Plunkett. Heavy contest from Symes, but she manages to stay out of play, and the shot has come out. So Lavington Panthers with possession now, with a throw-in in the hands of Hannah Symes at the baseline.
So the Pigeons quick to transition here. They fly wide to Laura Ryan. Into Leslie, and Maggie Thompson with a beautiful intercept. Just took that front space really well.
Coming offline to take that, which is really good. And I think probably the Pigeons may have telegraphed that a little bit. And again, I think the timing was just mismatched on the lead. So I expect that to only probably happen the once. And Emily Stewart just responding there with a goal for the Lavington Panthers. So the Lavington Panthers quickly to take a 1-goal lead here, 2-1 on the 777 scoreboard.
Irvine again, straight into the hands of Thompson. What a start she's having for the Lavington Panthers as Grace Hayes settles the court. So move to Demamiel, to Stewart, flies down into Maddie Lloyd, who finds Plunkett, but once again just finds the hands of Stewart. And a beautiful goal from her. So it's 3-1 to the Lavington Panthers on the 777 Automotive scoreboard.
Lavington Panthers here now with the centre pass. An obstruction call by defender in Grinter. So it leaves Emily Stewart unmanned. So it's a one-on-one still under the ring, and a beautifully put up ball there to Maddie Plunkett, who puts up the shot, but it's rebounded really well from Annalise Grinter. Two-handed take, and now we see the Pigeons looking to get this run and transition it to their attacking third.
So captain coach Irvine goes to Laura Ryan. She's always on that transverse line, ready to help the team. An obstruction against Grace Hay. So Moore goes to Allen, and the umpires luckily called it in for a throw-in for the Pigeons.
Maddie Allen was lucky then that she didn't stick her hand out any further, otherwise she would have got a tip to that. So Sarah Moore here with the ball halfway on their attacking circle line. A quick fake by Irvine to get the defenders out of the way. Maddie Allen putting up a really nice mid-range shot there. So the Pigeons responding. Lavington Panthers, though, leading 3-2 thanks to the 777 automotive scoreboard.
And Grace Hay gets a nice little hand on it. She's frustrated, though, just couldn't pull it in. So Moore will take the throw-in. Played about 5 minutes on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
And Leslie into Maddie Allen. Clever play from her. Unbalanced there on the baseline just to tap it back in. Sarah Moore here using her body really well to keep Grace Hay out of that front position. Happy to swing back there to Leslie a couple of times to inch closer to the circle. But again, Grace Hay, a beautiful two-handed rebound directly under that goalpost.
So Tamara, will throw to you if we can. Both teams just struggling to net the ball in. A lot of movement, but just not getting that finishing shot.
Yeah, look, I think Yarrawonga is certainly looking for a bit more patience as they go into their goal end. The ball's moving through the centre third fairly quickly, but the defensive work at both ends is really tight. And, yeah, it's been a great contest so far.
Oh, and an unlucky the obstruction call from Grinter with her arms out by the side because she got both hands to ball. But again, the hands of Hannah Symes got in the road, and now it's in the hands of the Pigeons. They're looking to transition this and to get to their circle with a little bit more clarity. Putting that ball up into Moore is Leslie. She's confident in what her goal attack can do. And why wouldn't she when Sarah Moore is on fire and nets another nice goal? So the Pigeons now bringing this margin back. We have a 3-all game, 3-all ball game here, thanks to Cavalier Holmes.
So Lavington probably looking a little bit unsettled, just feeding it around their circle. They find Em Stewart, a long-range shot, and there she goes. So Maddie Lloyd claps the hands. She's happy with that one.
And I think what Maddie Lloyd's is doing really well already is to really hit that circle edge. She hasn't fed the ball yet from off the circle edge, and we know that that can be a real damaging aspect of her game, is once she's hit that circle edge where the ball goes. And the Lavington Panthers doing the quick work in defence. They've now got the opportunity to respond as they've transitioned 3 passes and they're down to their goal third.
So DeManuel goes to Plunkett again. She's too far out. So a beautiful long bomb there from Lloyd to Plunkett. But again, she just can't finish it off. So we spoke about it pre-game. We've got Christina Gucci on the sideline. Do we use her soon?
Could be interesting to see, and I mean, we've got plenty of time left in this first quarter, maybe a bit of first quarter nerves, but Steph Clancy, really well done, but wing defence to wing defence into the hands of Laura Ryan, ever so steady on that transverse line there. Irvine, coach, onto Leslie, into Allen, quickly steps in, Thompson heavily defends, and Grace Hagan, 2 hands, ever so steady under that goalpost.
Rebound queen, Grace Hay. That's got to be a 3D lanes highlight of the day, as Em Stewart just keeps the ball alive. They swing across to DeManuel. On top of the circle is Maddie Lloyd.
And I love what Laura Irvine did then. The ball has gone into Maddie Plunkett, who sinks another goal for the Lavington Panthers. But Laura Irvine was really smart then. She just defended Emily Stewart out of the circle to make it a 2-on-1 against Plunkett and the 2 Yarrawonga defenders. So be interesting to see if a play like that continues as the quarter progresses.
So Tam, will you run us through that call from the umpire there?
Yeah, so the pressure was on Maddie Lloyd, and she just started going lateral and was trying to hold Laura Ryan out. So Laura Ryan drew the penalty pass there, and they've gone on and scored a goal. So that's fantastic defensive work by her, forcing Maddie to go laterally instead of up through the middle.
A little bit of confusion there. Goal attack and wing attack in the same space on that side of the court, but Sarah Moore quick to clear out and head back down to the circle. contact contest from Steph Clancy. Laura Irvine just wants to get on with the play, but she's put to where the infringement occurred, and the ball swings out of the circle, looks back to their transverse line, and we've spoken about Laura Ryan being nice and consistent and always steady there. But the ball clever by Moore onto Irvine, top of the ring, and a nicely popped lob into Maddie Allen, who finishes with another nice goal. So the Yarrawonga Pigeons here bring it back to level. We've got a 5-all ball game thanks to the 777 Automotive scoreboard.
And a stray ball there goes out, so the Pigeons will take this throw in. Lavington just sometimes struggling in that circle with their connection. So Symes goes, and Leslie. So moving down this left side of the court and into Maddie Allen. And she'll miss. So Grace Hay with another rebound to her name.
Oh, and she looks for the outlet ball to Clancy, but I think the Yarrawonga Pigeons have started to cotton on to that, so they'll have to be really smart about how they play that ball, because hands could get in the way. And again, this is what could happen to the Panthers. If they don't hit circle edge, that feed into Plunkett is really dangerous when Hannah Symes is lurking in front, because her arms, her reach is just so strong. But likewise, Steph Clancy then coming off the ball. So a quick change in possession there, and Lavington Panthers are on the front foot. They have transitioned nicely, I should say, into Ange DeMamuel at the top of the circle, on to Nice in Emily Stewart, who rebounds her own missed shot there, has a second attempt and nets it nicely. So the Lavington Panthers with a 1-goal lead here, 6-5. First quarter action brought to you from Cavalier Homes.
You can hear the crowd now. They're urging Lavington to turn a ball over before time ends. Just over 4 minutes now on the Jacob Trotter used cars time clock.
Irvine doing a mountain of work in that centre position. A lot of double plays between shooter to centre, which is fine, and Maddie Allen finishing another nice goal for the Pigeons. So again, 6-0 here with a few minutes to play in this first quarter.
So Lloyd, a little stuck, has to go back to Clancy. And they do the double play. And a big contest there between Stewart and Grinter, but she plays on into Plunkett, who sinks a shot right under the post, putting the Lavington Panthers ahead by 1 on the 777 Automotive scoreboard.
And again, similar to like last week, I'm loving that the umpires are letting some of those contested possessions go. They're doing it within the rules of the game, and it's being umpired so it's really, really great to see that. And we don't give our umpires enough credit here that they do such an exceptional job for our league.
And also taking into consideration the conditions as well. You know, if the court's slippery, you probably don't want your players to be going up for too much. A little bit dangerous, but as you said, Ree, a really nice balance so far.
As we see Laura Ryan out of play, gives all the space to pass on to DeMamuel, who connects with Emily Stewart again. So they've found a little bit of a rhythm in that circle edge. So the Panthers now quickly out to a 2-goal lead, 8 goals to the Pigeons, 6 on the 777 Automotive scoreboard.
So Maddie Lloyd finds Plunkett and goes straight to Stewart. Beautiful connection and a quick shot there from Em Stewart.
Tam Matthews, what are you seeing on the sideline?
The game is just ebbing and flowing. One team has momentum, next thing the other team gets momentum. It's really interesting, and it's going to be a case of who can settle first. I don't think either side probably have worked out their combinations just yet, so it'll be interesting to see what they do at quarter time.
I really like how Maggie Thompson and Grace Hay are working that defensive role. They're really making it hard for Maddie Allen to get the ball, which she does, and she sinks another shot. So the Pigeons have pulled one back, but the Lavington Panthers still leading 9-7 with about 2 minutes and a little bit to go here in this first quarter.
And a bounce pass there from Lloyd. Grinter gets a hand on it, but Stewart with the miss. So Grinter comes away with the rebound, and a lightning quick transition from the Pigeons, already hitting the top of their circle.
And we've spoken about the impact of Laura Ryan transitioning the ball. I think she got 3 of those 5 passes coming down as the Pigeons working it into their circle in the hands of Allen. She chooses to go back to Leslie, and why not when she can get that little bit closer, and she edges us back within 1. So 9 plays 8 here on the 777 Automotive scoreboard.
So a stray pass from the Pigeons. Grace Hay from the Panthers takes the throw in right next to the post. Goes to partner in crime Thompson. And Clancy just helping the team work it down. And Lloyd goes into Plunkett, but Symes, a great contest, but she'll be caught out of play for contact. So Em Stewart will take a long bomb here. She passes off, though, Plunkett under the hoop.
And why not pass off in that instance? There is a real height mismatch there. Although Annalise Grinter, we know that she can really elevate, just not quite enough. And Maddie Plunkett finishes that with another goal. So, again, the Panthers take a handy 2-goal buffer here. We'll see if Plunkett can make that 3, and she does. So the Panthers quick to respond. Now we have a 3-goal ball game. 11 plays 8 here on the 777 automotive scoreboard. So the Pigeons just working it around their circle. Thompson a little hand, but more passes off to Allen, who shoots a beautiful goal, which puts the Yarrawonga Pigeons to 9, trailing by 2 to the Panthers 11 on the 777 automotive scoreboard. They'll just be looking to work the time down here, make the Panthers have to take as many passes as possible and really eat up some of these last few minutes of play here. And Stewart, will the goal be counted there? I think it will. So the Panthers with a nice little buffer here, 3 goals, 12 plays 9 on the 777 automotive scoreboard. First quarter action has been brought to you by Cavalier Homes.
O&M Live.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton Zero.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between, manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.
On 2AY.
Welcome back to O&M Netball from McRae Motors. We are here at the Lavington Sports Ground for the 2v3 clash between the Lavington Panthers and the Yarrawonga Pigeons. So far, Lavington lead by 3 on the scoreboard.
And I can see one change for both teams, and that's Tilly Kennedy coming into that wing attack role. And Kylie Leslie dropping back into goal defence, which was something we predicted could happen, but we weren't sure. Tamara Matthews for the Insight Injury Clinic. What did you hear from those huddles at quarter time?
Yeah, so Yarrawonga just asked their girls to start to dictate a bit more through the centre and then also show some patience and ask them to shorten it up. So why are we going long? Those sorts of comments. Lavington, they talked about being a bit erratic in their attacking end. So again, looking for a bit more control as the ball's going into the shooters. So I also found out Bridge is away unwell. She's had the flu all week. So we hope Bridge Cass is better soon. But yeah, looking forward to a great second quarter.
And Maddie Allen starting us off really nicely for the Yarrawonga Pigeons with a quick goal. So a 2-goal lead here to the Lavington Panthers, which isn't helped by a held ball call right in their goal third. So Hannah Symes with the ball here, gives it off to Leslie, now in the defensive circle for them. Tilly Kennedy coming up a little bit high there and wasn't able to be serviced, but clears so quickly and is down there ready for the next play.
So Irvine goes into Allen, who's been really calm under the post, and there she goes. And another goal for her.
And I was going to comment too, Grace Hay is so steady there. I just love her hands over pressure. She has a huge 3 feet that can't be questioned by an umpire, which is fantastic. But a little bit of miscommunication off the Yarrawonga Pigeons centre pass. So the Lavington Panthers look to respond in the hands of Emily Stewart. She's right outside their circle. Heavy defence there by Irvine on the cross-court ball across, and I think maybe offside call just by a tiptoe. So Emily Stewart here with the ball off to Lloyd, back a double play there, and a lovely goal to finish.
So a great start from the Lavington Panthers in the second quarter for 777 Automotive. And Ange DeManuel. So Panthers just working it around in this centre third. Yarrawonga's defence are just tight one-on-one. But they find Em Stewart for a mid-range shot, and her hand is hot today. Another shot for the Lavington Panthers.
So that 3-goal buffer, nice and handy. Tilly Kennedy coming straight out for that centre pass right down that middle third, which is always handy. The ball just flying a little bit wayward, but Maddie Allen there really good at picking up the scrap. She kept driving for it and got that ball. So Moore here with the ball at the top of the circle. Beautiful long-range shot there. I reckon she's only a step in from the circle edge. So they get one back. It is 14 plays 12 on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
So Lavington again just playing the ball around as they move into their attacking circle. Plunkett, she's out and goes into Stewart, but Kylie Leslie, who's recently moved into goal defence, just gets a hand on it.
And clever play by Kylie there. She just moved her body so that she was in the right position. And what I think the Pigeons have really tried to tighten up already is I haven't seen Maddie Lloyd really hit that circle edge well yet from the centre pass. As they've moved closer, yes, but they're making it really difficult for her. And a great defensive rebound there from Hannah Symes. But the ball again going up and a little bit too long. So the Panthers responding quickly, transitioning that ball in the hands of Thompson now to Stewart. She's looked for an option. None are available. She found Plunkett here, and Lloyd and Irvine just grappling for that ball right at the top of the circle. DeManuel goes into Plunkett, has a little bit of a shot there herself, and it spills out. So again, Stewart with the hands of the ball, and it flies over to Plunkett, finishing with another nice goal. So the Panthers here again out to 3 goals, 15 plays 12. Second quarter action being brought to you by 777 Automotive.
So 11 minutes to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. And the ball just trickles out. So Laura Irvine, captain coach of the Pigeons, takes the throw in, goes out to Moore and Tilly Kennedy. And then they find Allen just under the post, where she's really comfortable, and the ball trickles in.
And really nice. It was interesting there. Both Maddie Allen and Sarah Moore were holding, so they don't want to do that too often because then there's no one actually driving. So I think they will. That's just something new with playing, not having played together before. As we see Symes looking to take a nice little flying intercept, but called for the contact. A quick pass into Stewart, who finishes with another easy goal there. So 3 goals still here to the Lavington Panthers.
And a beautiful quick play there from the Pigeons. Kennedy finds Allen with such ease, and a beautiful finisher shot for her.
DeMamiel in the centre, nice and steady pass to Lloyd, heavily defended by Laura Irvine, who comes offline to get that ball and called there for shortening her distance with the arms over pressure. So Lloyd gives it off to Stewart. Oh, heavy defence there from Kylie Leslie, looking to get that ball off the ground, but Plunkett regains possession. So again, the Panthers still this 3-goal lead, 17 plays 14 on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
So Tamara, for Inside Injury Clinic, how can the Pigeons rebuild what they're trailing?
Look, I think the defensive pressure off that transverse and in the Lavington attacking end has definitely increased. They've really held up play there and getting opportunities. It's just making the most of it in their goaling end, not rushing and forcing that ball. We can see here again, defensively, they've stepped it right up. It's just converting those goals now.
So Maddie Plunkett looks to convert, as you say, Tam, and there she goes. So puts the Lavington on a nice little roll. The momentum's still with the home side today, but it could change quickly as a breaking call gives the Panthers a free pass off the hands of Laura Ryan. Down to Tilly Kennedy.
And that was from some clever pressure defence there on the line. It forced her. She wanted the space in front and she had it, but she just had to jump the line too quickly. So clever from the Pigeons. They respond in the hands of Moore. So we're back to within 3. 18 plays 15 here on the Cavalier home scoreboard. Moore gives off to wing attack Tilly Kennedy. She's new into the game and she's brought a lot of energy. Allen off to Irvine, looking for the goaler in best position, which she deems is Sarah Moore, who another easy goal for her. So Pigeons now within 2.
So DeManuel has to go back to Thompson, and then to Clancy. So the Panthers so far today not afraid to play it around. They find Stewart in the circle, who just flicks it into Plunkett. He'll secure another goal for the Lavington Panthers.
And might I say, we spoke that we thought that Maddie Lloyd and Emily Stewart were both under some injury cloud, but neither of them have missed a real beat here. They're looking both like they're moving quite well. So it'll be interesting to see if that becomes a factor as the game continues. The hands of Moore have the ball in the pocket there for the Pigeons. It's brought onto their circle edge and the scraps just come in the way of the Panthers. So Steph Clancy there, really good at transitioning from attack to defend. Maddie Lloyd, she's caught up high, so she's got a long way to go to get back to that circle edge. And the Panthers here, though, being nice and steady, using their defenders to transition the ball. So they're now in their attacking third, and a long bomb from Lloyd just passes the fingers of Kylie Leslie. So that may be a 3D Lanes highlight of the day.
What a play there from Em Stewart. Almost wasn't within her reach, but just fires up and just pulls in that ball somehow.
And they're the little 1%ers that win us games. So, yeah, and great. Here we see Hannah Symes with the classy defensive positioning then, getting that front position, 2 hands on ball. Fabulous work from her.
So Kennedy goes to Irvine. Kennedy, just that playmaker on the top of the circle. Moore really cleverly passes off to Allen, who's been steady under the post, but she misses. Fights hard for the rebound. The umpire will call it the way of the Pigeons.
I think offside. So really clever from Clancy then to have a stab at that ball, but maybe a toe over the line, but just not enough on that ball going over. And Grace Hay, again, hands in everything and a lovely intercept on the baseline. So the Panthers transitioning now. Thompson looks to her mid-quarters, can't find anyone, but now in the hands of Lloyd. Onto Plunkett. Well, she looked like it was going there, but it didn't, so it's been fed back out. Lloyd again now.
And smart from Lloyd to go back as well, knowing that the umpires are calling every held ball.
Don't want to eat up any time. So the Panthers now here with a handy 5-goal lead. How quickly it can jump from one way to the other. They're leading 21-16. Allen choosing to pass out to Irvine. heavily defended by Hay there with a lovely 3 feet. So they net one back. 21 plays 17 here on the Cavalier home scoreboard with about 6 minutes still to play.
So Lloyd, she's covered by Ryan, who's just blocked the vision, has to go back. So the Panthers switch and play the other side, but find Plunkett really nicely under that post, who's just settled in to those close goals now.
And that was thanks to a really strong drive there from Lloyd. She pulled Leslie and Symes off Maddie Plunkett as well to go fishing for that ball. And I think it was Ange DeManuel as well, clever enough to notice that Plunkett was home alone and give that ball.
So Tilly Kennedy for the Pigeons takes a throw in, almost falls into the court there. And quickly the Pigeons find Allen, who another miss. So will she look to more for the accuracy? And they do. Sarah Moore under the post and a beautiful goal from her. One of the most accurate goalers in the competition at 77% so far this season, with only a few games on the boardary.
Yeah, coming back from injury. So she played the first couple and then missed a couple due to injury. So yeah, she's ever so steady in there, Sarah, and that's something that she really prides on her game. But the Lavington Panthers both going up here for the offensive rebound, and Hannah Symes looking to rectify this deficit. Quick transition to the Pigeons from baseline to baseline. Irvine into Moore, who really just wants the ball. She's ready to get on with it. She refeeds to Irvine, who uncharacteristic fumble there. She's normally got such strong hands. So the Panthers now with the ball again. Clancy onto Hay, looking to transition that bit further down the court, but they can't find anyone, so it goes back to Hay again, finally finding Thompson home alone, but Laura Ryan, well-read intercept. That is definitely a 3D Lanes highlight of the day.
So the ball's in the hands of the Pigeons. Momentum shifts just a little bit again in their favour as the rain starts to come down. And we know the Pigeons can play really well under any conditions, so it could go to their favour, but the Panthers not slowing down yet.
And the ball coming in the hands of Stewart. She's deep in the pocket, offers back to Lloyd, who's still not on circle edge, and the ball slipping out of DeManuel's hand there. So it'll be interesting here as we start to get a little bit of rain, who can really treasure possession and shorten it up and keep control of a very slippery netball.
So Tam, for Inside Injury Clinics, what do the conditions look like over on your end?
Look, at the moment it's okay, but it's probably that in-between where it's starting to get really slippery. This surface isn't great in the wet, so the girls are going to have to be pretty careful and really shorten it up. The long ones are not going to come off, I don't think.
And that was a really nice feed there from Laura Irvine. Just passing the ball into Allen there home alone, and we've seen the umpire just giving a warning to a player there. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but Tam, can you give any light onto that one?
Yeah, so he's just called Grace Hay for intimidation, defending in the eyes of the shooter there. So.
And she quickly responds, getting that hand up as well. So another nice goal there from Allen. So we're back within 22 plays 20 here. Second quarter action thanks to 777 Automotive.
So the Panthers just utilising those short passes. And they'll go over to Stewart, but again, we spoke about the conditions and the short passes. Lobs probably not going to work as well as before, so the Pigeons move down the court really quickly. Tilly Kennedy, she's in the centre channel, fires over to the pocket in Irvine.
And a clever play then from Irvine. She didn't have control of the ball and she managed to kind of like tap it forward a little bit to cement that space in front. But Allen can't convert. Maggie Thompson taking a lovely two-handed rebound there. Panthers though having trouble to really overcome this defence in that goal third.
So over a minute to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock. And the Panthers still leading by 2 on the Cavalier home scoreboard. As we shortly head into half-time, can Maddie Plunkett for a mid-range shot secure it?
She can't. It's just a little bit slippery and falls short. So Hannah Symes, really great transitional pass there to Laura Ryan. She's been instrumental in that defence to attack role that a wing defender can play. And Tilly Kennedy, we saw what damage she could do in these conditions, and she's not slowed up at all. and finished off nicely by Sarah Moore. So a 1-goal ball game coming closer to half-time. 22 plays 21 here on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
So umpires called DeManuel out of play, and the Pigeons find Allen again, but again, just trying to find a closer position to the hoop, and Allen does, and slots another goal for the Pigeons. So we're even again, Ree. 22 all on the Cavalier home scoreboard. Just seconds away from half-time.
It'll be interesting to see coming into this second half if it, with an even game, what the coaches decide to do if there are any positional changes. Emily Stewart here with the opportunity to increase it to 1. She rebounds her own missed shot and then sinks her second attempt. So Panthers 1-goal lead, 23 plays 22 on the Cavalier home scoreboard.
And that whistle marks half-time here at the Lavington Sports Ground. The Panthers leading by just 1 on the Cavalier home scoreboard, and we will be back after the break for three-quarter time.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between, manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.
Live on 2AY.
Welcome back to O&M Netball from McRae Motors. We are here at the Lavington Sports Ground as it's just started to rain on us, Ree.
Yeah, it's delightful, but I think the sun's coming out, and if you have just joined us, we are watching the second plays third action between the Yarrawonga Pigeons and the Lavington Panthers, who the Lavington Panthers have just edged a 1-goal lead going into this second quarter. 23 goals plays 22, but Pigeons then were on the front foot. They netted a 5-goal lead at one point back to 1 goal, and they had it there even for quite a little bit of those last few minutes. So interesting. I think we will see a few changes from both teams, and I did say to Hannah off air, I felt like the Pigeons kind of, when they had the ball in stages, were a little bit more controlled, and it felt like they were perhaps getting closer to that lead. However, Panthers still have the lead. That 1 goal, it makes the difference. So interesting to see. Tam Matthews, what are you seeing for Insight Injury Clinic in that halftime huddle?
Look, Yarrawonga just talking about keeping up that rotation through the circle, keeping it short, keeping up that defensive pressure, talking about the pressure on the wing attack and the centre, keeping them up high on the transverse and doing that, dropping back and defending that space at the top of the circle. Lavington's feedback to each other was just to keep putting the shots up and defending them. So we've got a few changes here from Lavington. Yarrawonga are all the same.
So, Tam, we've seen Olivia Sanson go on into goal attack. Do we know why they've taken Em Stewart off? Seemed from our perspective she was playing a pretty good game.
Yeah, I didn't hear why. I just heard the coach ask for Liv to do a bit more work up on the transverse and out of the circle. So we're interested to see whether she makes a difference there.
And Maddie Plunkett sinking our first goal for this third quarter. So the Panthers, 2-goal lead here, 24 plays 22. Pigeons now with the centre. Goes into the hands of Tilly, who is happy to double play the ball with goal shooter in Allen. Irvine into more. Clever play there, but Clancy all over it. 2 hands. 3D lanes highlight of the day quickly to start this third quarter, but the ball is a little bit slippery and it's just gone through a few sets of fingers. But the Panthers, Sarah Meredith here being interjected into this defensive lineup in goal defence. So Sarah Meredith v Sarah Moore, old teammates, very, 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 very dear friends. So it'll be interesting to see who can get the upper hand in this third quarter.
Maybe a little bit of a psychological battle as well between those two.
Who knows? They've battled each other enough times at training. So I think that was something that Sarah said one day at training. I'm glad that I don't have to play against you defenders, because training against you is hard enough. And now we see them up against each other. So Moore here with the ball halfway on their attacking third. Clancy giving away the contact on the circle edge there. So Irvine into Allen. Bit of a contact call from Meredith, and Allen just falling short. Grace Hay again, another lovely defensive rebound.
But helped really nicely by Meredith. She just positioned herself so well, and given the conditions, knew she probably couldn't pull it in, so just tipped it over to Hay.
Yeah, very clever, and something they've probably been working towards. And for both of them, the height there is probably a 2 against 1. Maddie Allen giving the height for the Pigeons, but Meredith and Hay standing that a little bit taller than Sarah Moore.
So the Panthers just utilising that short ball. We can see how slippery the conditions are getting. So both teams just trying to keep it nice and short, and into Plunkett they go. Under the post, and another great goal from her. So it puts the home team up by 3 now on the Indigo Power scoreboard.
And a handy feed there from Ange DeMamio. Just caught Hannah Symes with her eyes down. So they'll be looking for that as the name Symes comes out fishing, but she took out Maddie Lloyd instead of in slippery conditions there. But good to see her still confident to have a go at those ball. Youngster Liv Sanson here with a contact call on the shot. So she'll have a second go, and she sinks that there. So the Panthers here taking it out to 4 goals, 26 plays 22 on the Indigo Power scoreboard.
So Sarah Meredith called out for obstruction. Laura Ryan goes to Kennedy, and it makes it all too easy for the Pigeons, with Sarah Moore finishing off a very confident shot under the post.
Panthers here with the centre pass in the hands of Liv Sanson. Gives off to DeMamio. Back to mid-court counterpart in Lloyd. On to Plunkett. She's very, very far away from home there, so she won't shoot that. She opts to pass, and a dribbling ball into Sanson at the top of the ring, but she just misses that shot. Ball now in Yarrawonga's possession, so let's see if they can really transition this ball quickly and effectively.
Another slippery ball. She's lucky to not get the replay call on that one. Umpire's obviously giving leeway with the conditions. So the Pigeons remain in control. They're an incredibly calm team, Ree. It's one of their best assets, I'd say.
I think that comes with experience as well. A lot of these girls have played a lot of netball together, and then those who haven't probably just come in and feel that sense of calm. So it's really easy to be interjected into that. And Maddie Allen, nice and calm and composed there with another nice shot. So
Tilly Kennedy just keeps that ball alive.
Flirting with the goal circle there. And again, she's off balance, but manages to pass the ball off. So I think that's when we talk about calmness, having your teammates there ready for those moments is imperative. And the Pigeons replying. So we're back within one. 26 plays 25 here. Third quarter action being brought to you by Martin's Travel Group Albury.
So Lavington just trying to build the lead. And they go to Plunkett. So keeping it really simple in the goal circle and just going for that target, and Plunkett, who finishes off another goal for the Panthers.
And paying off for them as we see that the rain has subsided. So hopefully maybe the sun will come out and this court can dry out a little bit. Even though the rain stopped, the ball's still going to be slippery. The surface will still be slippery. So whichever team can really make use of their patience the most, I think will come out on top over the next few minutes.
So Clancy gets a hand to the ball, so the Pigeons will take the throw in here in the hands of Sarah Moore, just in their shooting circle.
Clever play there from Moore to get the obstruction call from Clancy. Played the fake and then the fake again, really to get her hands in the way. And it gets into Maddie Allen, so she brings it back within one. 27 plays 26 here. Third quarter action brought to you by Martin's Travel Group Albury.
And Liv Sanson goes to DeManuel. And Maddie Lloyd just sits in that pocket. But the pass a little bit too high. Plunkett not quite ready. But the umpires called a contact against Hannah Symes.
That's one of those really hard to call ones. It looked like Hannah Symes took that ball really cleanly from where we are. However, umpires have a different view to us. So clever play there from Ryan, off balance to Tilly Kennedy. Yarrawonga Pigeons looking to respond here to bring it back within one. Tam Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. What are you seeing?
I'm seeing some amazing defence from Yarrawonga down here, hands over, and it's just allowing Yarrawonga to play back in. I think the difference is they're not getting caught out of play. They're maintaining a really good three. We're just seeing a few Lavington give away a few down there, and they're getting Yarrawonga are able to get the ball in a little bit easier than Yarrawonga at the moment. But look, they're still passing with a lot of confidence to Maddie Plunkett, although Hannah's starting to work into the game a little bit. So.
A clever play there from Liv Sanson. Shooter to shooter is what we like to see. And Hannah Symes trying to get that rebound, just not able to gain possession. But defensive pressure again, really, really tight and strong, looking to get that front possession. And Maddie Plunkett happy to going low to the ground and giving off to Liv Sanson. So confidence in the youngster, netting a goal here for the Panthers. So that takes them to 29. Plays the Yarrawonga Pigeons 27. We've got about 8.5 minutes here to go on the Jacob Toyota used cars scoreboard. Time clock, sorry.
So the Pigeons, a ball's turned over there. Great defensive work from the Lavington Panthers. And again, a quick transition into their attacking third. Hits Maddie Lloyd. And straight into Plunkett. So you can see that's the game plan, but Hannah Symes has caught on to that one pretty quickly.
And a great defensive effort there from both defenders. Hannah Symes doing the hard work to trickle that ball down to Kylie Leslie. Contact call from Steph Clancy here in the centre third. So we've got an extra player now for the Pigeons in their attacking third. So Laura Ryan in wing defence looking for who that Pigeons player might be. Irvine gives off to Allen, back to Irvine. She's doing a mountain of work as always in that centre. Into Moore, a short shot, but Allen with clever hands. And
almost passes to Grace. I think a bit of confusion there.
Yep, I think she thought that it was her own player, but that's all right. She gets the chance to rectify it here, and she'll get another chance as well. We've got Sarah Meredith out of play for obstruction. So Moore passes off to Allen. She's close to the ring, but again, falls short, and Grace Hay, she's so strong under that ring, just taking that ball two hands, always has that front position.
But a stepping call against the Lavington Panthers. So Laura Ryan for the Pigeons just takes the ball and goes to Irvine, top of the circle, makes it all too easy to feed into Maddie Allen. who now finishes off the shot. So great work there from the Pigeons to regain that ball by luck with the stepping, but to finish it off this time.
And maybe that's kind of the netball gods speaking. But we've got a 1-goal ball game. 29 plays 28 here. Lavington Panthers looking to extend this 1-goal buffer in the hands of Maddie Lloyd, who finds Maddie Stewart, put Maddie Stewart and Emily, Maddie Plunkett and Emily Stewart's names together there, and Maddie Plunkett nets that goal. So Yarrawonga Pigeons here trailing by 2 in the hands of Kennedy. On to centre in Irvine. Clever play there, flirting with that sideline, and a clever ball into Moore. She was contested by Meredith, but sinking that goal. So the Yarrawonga Pigeons trailing by 1, 30 plays 29, third quarter action, thanks to Martin's Travel Group Albury.
So Liv Sanson goes to Maddie Lloyd, a little high, but she keeps it in. And the two just working together. I think that was a 1-2-3 4-pass combo. And there she goes, Liv Sanson, the young gun, finished it off really nicely. So she stepped onto the court, replacing Em Stewart really comfortably.
And her teammates are really happy about it. You heard the Panthers bench just come up, which is great, particularly while it is close. We want to make sure that this is happening. A contact call there from Steph Clancy. So the Pigeons now with the ball, top of the circle, into Moore. Quickly finds her balance, turns, shoots, and another goal for the Pigeons. So 31 plays 30 here. We've got about 5 minutes to play on the Jacob Toyota used car time clock.
So Ange DeMamuel, the experienced centre, goes to the young gun Samson. What a pass into Plunkett. What a 3D lanes highlight of the day.
It's probably one of Liv's best there, and really well-timed pass. And great for a youngster to really recognise that the goalkeeper was right out of position, and Plunkett was well and truly home alone. More clever with her hands and feet than to control that ball into the circle. Passes off to Allen. She looks to pass, but nets the goal instead. So still 1 goal here. 32 plays 31 on the Indigo Power scoreboard.
So Clancy for the Panthers goes to Lloyd again. But she needs to go back. The defence for the Pigeons just too much. And Liv Sanson connects with DeMamuel. And a little shuffle back. Can't finish, but an obstruction from Hannah Symes means she has a second bite at the cherry, and there she goes. A great shot from Liv Sanson.
And a great interjection from her. I know that Liv has spent a lot of her life here up at the Lavington Panthers sports ground and a lot of time watching the senior players. So for her to get another run on the court is really, really exceptional. So whether or not she regains that goal attack position for this 4th quarter or whether it's just purely to rest Stewart will be interesting. Sarah Moore responding in that goal attack role. 33 plays 32 here at the Lavington Panthers Oval. Meredith on to Lloyd, having just a little bit of trouble penetrating this Yarrawonga defensive line. They do in the hands of Plunkett. Gives off to DeMamuel. She's kind of on her own there on that wing side, but Liv Sanson having a second shot here with Kylie Leslie out of play for an obstruction call. Opting to pass, clever pass there over the hands of Symes and Plunkett. She's been really phenomenal in that shooting role. She hasn't missed too many today, taking the Panthers out to 2. 34 plays, 32 here on the Indigo Power scoreboard.
So Tam, for Inside Injury Clinic, the Panthers attackers just seem to get the edge over the Pigeons defence. What are you seeing down there?
Look, they're showing some brilliant patience. They're really having to work hard. They're having to work it around. Liv's intensity has been great. She's driving hard into the circle and then coming back for the re-offer. So she's making her defenders work hard too. She's a good long-range shot, as we just saw there, and confidence to put it up, which is fantastic. And not always giving those ones off to Maddie because the defenders are onto that. And yeah, it's just adding another element to their attacking end, I think.
And there she goes, right on cue. Liv Sanson misses, but Plunkett with the rebound, and that's the basketball skills she's got. shoot it from out of court. Very Gretel Boetta, wasn't it?
I was about to say a bit Gretel Boetta-like, and that real basketball balance to be able to fall out and net that shot. So the Yarrawonga Pigeons here looking to respond quickly with time ticking away in this third quarter. The ball's gone back to their transverse line, and it's just a little bit too big for the hands of Kennedy on this sideline. So Grace Hay now with possession. Panthers right place, but the umpire gives benefit of the doubt and gives her a second bite of the cherry. Laura Ryan trying to contest that ball, but a big contact call. 2 passes into Plunkett, and it just dribbles into the ring. So the Panthers now quickly out to a 5-goal lead, 37 plays 32 on the Indigo Power scoreboard.
And with just over a minute to play on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock, building this momentum for the Panthers is integral. But just as I say that, the Pigeons get a throw in. They've got a steady minute to get another goal in here, so they don't want to rush too quickly.
And I think momentum, for the most part, has gone with the Panthers in this quarter, particularly in these last few minutes. Obviously, that lead has come out, but Allen responds nicely. So 4 goals here, 37 plays, 33. Less than will be wanting to.
So Maddie Allen, the ball goes out to Kennedy and in the hands of Sarah Moore where it's safe. But it trickles out and Grace Hay just pulls the ball in for the Panthers. So they've got 20 seconds on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock to bring the ball down. But the time catches up to them. So the Lavington Panthers lead 37 to Yarrawonga Pigeons 33 on the Indigo Power scoreboard for third quarter action for Martin's Travel Group Albury. What a fourth quarter we are in for. This is O&M Live, and on O&M Live you won't miss a thing.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan Intelligent Mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between, manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev, for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.
You're listening to O&M Live on 2AY.
Welcome back to O&M Live Netball action. Thanks to McRae Motors, we are at the Lavington Panthers Sports Ground today, seeing the second plays third battle between the Yarrawonga Pigeons and the Lavington Panthers. Lavington Panthers with a handy 4-goal lead, 37 plays 33, going into this fourth quarter. So the Pigeons came back at halftime, but the Panthers really managed to edge it out. So we've seen a few positional changes, and the Panthers with the ball to start this and defensive pressure there from Annalise Grinter coming onto the court in goal defence, and Liv Lovell into goalkeeper. So a whole new defensive circle for the Pigeons.
And Tam, for Inside Injury Clinic, can you run us through why they might have been making those changes? What did you hear at three-quarter time?
Well, all the Lavington coach said was really just possession netball. Let's just look after it. So I'm surprised they actually made the change. Bringing him back on when Liv had played so well. I thought it would have been an opportunity to run a bit more court time into her and give her that confidence. But yeah, they really just talked about possession netball and looking after it. Yarrawonga have thrown the bibs in the air a little bit and made some changes. But I think, these could potentially work really well for them. They talked about releasing the ball like they did early in that last quarter. Just have trust in the player, release it. When they started holding on to it was when they felt they started to lose it. So keep driving on and release the ball to the first option.
And someone who's released the ball twice already to start us off in this fourth quarter is Maddie Plunkett. She's been on song under the ring today for the Panthers, and any rebounds that have come her way, she's pulled in as well. So she's doing fabulously there. The Panthers taking this lead out to 6, 39 plays 33. Make that 40 plays 33. Fourth quarter scoreboard action brought to you by the X-Ray Group.
So that's a massive margin that the Pigeons have to climb back from. And momentum, as we've seen in this fourth quarter for Inside Injury Clinic, is with the home side. It's with the Lavington Panthers. Here's Sarah Moore. And there's been a contact call outside the circle. So Maddie
out a little bit. If Alan plays a bit more of that moving goal attack style role out there, as you can see that Moore and Allen have made those changes. So it'll be interesting, just to see what that change brings with Allen being out and Sarah Moore stepping back into that goal shooter role.
And Maddie Lloyd just brings a bit of magic on that circle edge, but Laura Irvine just clinging to that ball. She's the captain coach. If anyone's going to bring the girls back to get the win, it needs to be her. But Plunkett goes again with another great goal. She's really built across this game.
So the Panthers edging out to 7. So 41 plays 34 here on the X-Ray Group scoreboard. It will be interesting. That is only 3 turnovers, 4 if it's off a centre. So the Pigeons can do that in a quarter, but I think if they do, it has to be in the next couple of minutes.
Completely right, Rhea. We have about 12 minutes left to play on the Jacob Twitter used cars time clock, so there is time.
And with Allen shooting like that, netting a really long range goal, they can. And Laura Ryan's hands in everything. I think that was a reward for her effort over the course of the day, and backed up by goal defence in Annalise Grinter. So they have the opportunity to transition here, but they tried to throw it away. They regain possession now. Irvine into Moore. She's under that ring. So how quickly 7 can go back to 5. 41 plays, 36 here. Fourth quarter action being brought to you by the Inside Injury Clinic.
So Lavington defenders, or attackers I should say, Maddie Lloyd and Ange Manuel just giving everything they can to build the turnover. But Tilly Kennedy feeding beautifully into her shooters. And more, she is a pressure player. She loves the big moments.
And loves games like these. These are a bread and butter. She'd be happier if they were in the front seat, but loves to be coming back from a deficit. And Liv Lovell here giving a contact at the top of the circle. So Plunkett opting to give it to goal attack in Stewart, who puts that ball up. It falls short, and rebound possession has gone the way of the Pigeons. So a quick transition here from them could really see this ball game become very, very interesting. And Grinter, she's offloading that ball. More clever play. Knew that Tilly Kennedy could nowhere get near that because it was on that edge of the circle, and she's 2/3 of the way out, opts to pass to Allen, who's looking from goal defensive Maggie Thompson. Gives Moore a shot at goal here, halfway out, and she nets that beautifully. So 3 goals here that the Pigeons trail by. I called it that it'd have to happen in a couple of minutes. Here we go. See if we can bring this back to 2 or 1.
Tam, for Inside Injury Clinic, how has momentum shifted down there in the Pigeons attack end?
Oh, you can definitely feel a momentum shift. Just a lot more intensity, really working hard for each other. Tilly Kennedy's doing a power of work, and her feeds are just on song.
And what I liked then, Sarah Moore opted to pass off to Maddie Allen, but at the last second, because she couldn't see over the hands of Grace Hay, so she waited till she fell a little bit. However, Allen couldn't quite sink that goal, so the Panthers have been quick to reply in transition. They're back to their goal and attacking third. Ange DeMamuel here with the ball halfway down their sideline, right in front of where we are calling from. Off to Clancy on their baseline. Clever hands by Laura Ryan, but hands are everywhere, and a contact call off the ball here. So the Panthers giving away possession in their goal circle, and Liv Lovell, that's hard to watch, just that slippery ball, and she tripped a little bit, doing her best to recover, but Maddie Plunkett sinking that one. So Panthers pushing out now, back to 4. 42 plays 38 here with about 9 minutes to go on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock.
What a fourth quarter for Inside Injury Clinic. It could go either way right now. The 7-goal lead. You thought it might be the Lavington Panthers game. The Pigeons have come back, and now we're in the hands of Maddie Plunkett, who I think likes to be off balance. I think she prefers it that way, it seems.
That was a great shot by her, and well done from Liv Lovell. She really did well to stay in the game there and not get the contact call, but the ball very slippery in a 3D lanes highlight of the day from Maddie Allen into Moore, home alone under the ring. So 4 goals again, 43 plays 39, and Annalise Grinter, that is why she's been injected into that goal defence position. Coming off the ball, 2-handed intercept, 3D lanes highlight of the day.
And Sarah Moore, that's the woman you want the ball in the hands of when it comes down to the wire. And the Pigeons with the centre pass again. Laura Irvine and Tilly Kennedy just giving her everything. Bullet pass to Moore, finds Irvine, but now they need to settle.
And whether or not the experience of the Pigeons just really starts to settle this game, I think cleverly for them, Allen out at goal attack has been really great, because I think Moore has had a little bit more say of what's happening in that circle. 2-goal ball game, 43 plays 41 on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
So DeMamuel goes to Stewart, and they're just playing between them. And a bounce pass, top of the circle, gives DeMamuel the vision. But a contact call against Em Stewart. She's not happy with that one. Gives the Pigeons another crack at edging away at the Panthers.
What I love, Annalise Grinter, she does a lot of hedging off the ball. So she makes it look like there's a lot more space, and then she shots a different distance down and then comes out again. Uncharacteristic miss from Moore, but regathers her own rebound. So back within 1, 43 plays 41. Pigeons here. Opportunity to bring it back to even, but coach killer, and breaking call there for Tilly Kennedy. So Panthers now with the opportunity just to steady, bring the ball back onto their terms, and they do so. DeMamuel into Plunkett, looking baseline for Stewart, but heavy contact there from Grinter, doing the really hard work, but just at that last second. So Stewart here under the ring, nets that. So we're back out to 2. 44 plays 42 here, fourth quarter action, thanks to the Insight Injury Clinic.
And DeMamuel goes out to Lloyd. Clancy to Thompson. So just short passes, the Panthers moving it around as Plunkett and Stewart just set up in that circle. And a big contest there from Irvine. She is having an absolute go at everything.
And that's one of her real strengths as well. But again, really confident to put that ball into Maddie Plunkett, and why not? She's been really on song today. So Pigeons here, they really need to cement this one with a couple of minutes to go, trailing by 3, 45 plays 42 in the hands of Ryan. 2 defenders now out of play, so she'll have the opportunity to give this ball off again. Clever play, Irvine onto the edge of the circle in the hands of Allen. Opts to pass back to Irvine. She's deep in the pocket. And Sarah Moore, beautiful baseline drive, finishing that goal off nicely. So the Pigeons responding, 45 plays 43, with about 5.5 minutes left on the Jacob Toyota used car's time clock.
And Laura Ryan comes up with another ball to the Pigeons. Just putting in those 1%ers. Making it happen. Tilly Kennedy has been an absolute impact player for them today.
And I feel like just then, Tilly Kennedy showed some maturity that she's really made over the last few seasons. I think previously she probably would have passed one of those balls and it wouldn't have come off. Instead, she opted to take the breath and find a better option. And it's worked out in their favour. So Allen, their clinch shot for her, 45 plays 44 here on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
So more smart play goes back to Laura Ryan. And Kennedy just leading the ship on the top of the circle. Pops to Moore. Will she take this one? Big hands from Hay. And she does. So the Yarrawonga Pigeons are officially even with the Lavington Panthers, 45 all on the X-Ray Group scoreboard. We've got 4.5 minutes left on the Jacob Toyota used car's time clock.
And great pressure defence there from the Pigeons. There is still so much time left to play in this game. I'm getting like a little bit flustered. It feels like a finals game, which is great and what you want. And Plunkett, clever there, pushing the ball up to herself and finishing another nice goal. So the Panthers edging here, 1 goal buffer, 46 plays, 45 on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
Tam Matthews for Insight Injury Clinic. What are you seeing down on your end?
Wow, this has turned into an absolute cracker of a game. Down here, down at the Yarrawonga shooting end, just hear Sarah Moore just talking to her shooters, telling Maddie to take that last shot. There'll be a lot of defensive work going on here, but it's an absolute cracker.
And imagine if it had been a dry court for 4 quarters, this is potentially what we could have seen. But I'm hearing the intensity in the crowd starting to lift. This is when the goosebumps start to come. And I think for those players, those that can really just control and not get caught up in all of that awe, will steady their ship. So Maddie Lloyd, clever play there. Knew she was going to replay the ball. Demamiel, 2-on-1 to Plunkett. Nice and strong take from her. Probably a contender for our Urban Grays Player of the Day. And why not finishing with a nice goal as well. So the Panthers, I think, edging out to maybe 2 goals here. Yes, 47 plays, 45, and the ball coming in quickly, but a contact call under the post gives Plunkett another option. I just heard someone from the Pigeons saying to Lovell she needs to work her feet so that she doesn't get caught on that. But Plunkett again, so 3 goals to the Panthers, 48 plays, 45 here on the X-Ray Group scoreboard.
So Tilly Kennedy goes back to Laura Ryan. The pressure is on. You can see the panic in their eyes. They don't want to lose possession.
And you can hear it as well. The bench then from the Panthers just saying hands up, keep the pressure on is really, that can be intimidating as well to an extent. But Moore, she doesn't hear it, she doesn't see it. She just turns and does her job, sinking another one. So 2-goal ball game with less than 3 minutes to play here. 48 plays, 46.
Demamiel goes to Plunkett, but it goes out. The Panthers, Liv Lovell will take the throw in.
And took on board any feedback that her teammates gave her. Then she moved her feet, made it hard to know where the space was. Fantastic drive from Grinter through that centre third, but trickling of possession goes in the way of the Panthers. So Grace Hay just regathering that ball gives everyone a chance to stop and breathe. So I think if the Pigeons are any chance of nailing this lead, they need to do so now. And she is in everything. She's one of those players that could take that that clutch intercept in any moment. So we'll look to see if she can regather. But the Panthers in possession. Quick pass from Demamiel into that circle. We've got about a minute and a half to play. Emily Stewart now with the ball on the baseline, looking for Plunkett, the mismatch in height. She has the shot and she takes it. So Lavington Panthers here, 49. Yarrawonga Pigeons, 46. About a minute to play. Tilly Kennedy in possession, off to Laura Ryan, gives to Allen, back to Ryan, back to Allen. They're doing a mountain of work into Moore. Nice settling shot here from Sarah Moore, and she does so. So 2 goals here, 49 plays 47. Ange Demamiel in possession, off to Niece Stewart Thompson. Happy to just play it around the Panthers. Time is on their side, but Maddie Lloyd looking back, but a contact call from the Pigeons. 40 seconds here to play at the Lavington Panthers Sports Ground.
So Maddie Lloyd, ball in hand, beautiful pass to Plunkett, who's misses, but what an intercept from her. That's where you have the confidence. And hits the back of the rim, trickles in. The Pigeons, they've got 20 seconds on the Jacob Toyota used cars time clock, and they need to get to work.
If only we had this super shot. That could have made this last quarter even more interesting, but more.
Particularly with Moore in that circle right now.
Absolutely. They're calling for that ball to go in. Moore putting that shot up. 2 goals here. 50 plays 48 in the way of the Panthers, and they have come away with the win. So the Lavington Panthers 50, the Yarrawonga Pigeons 48. What a game. And we just need to work out who our Urban Greys player of the day is. Will it be a Maddie Plunkett? Will it be an Emily Stewart, a Maddie Lloyd, a Grace Hay? We will let the girls have their huddle and shoot it over to Tam Matthews to bring that player to us. What do you reckon, Hannah?
Oh, what a game, Ree. I think I was holding my breath way too many times in that last quarter. The Panthers kind of led, I think, the whole game, but the Pigeons just keep clawing back and frightening the Panthers, the home side. You could tell the Panthers were absolutely relying on their home crowd to kind of bring it home. I think for me, Em Stewart, a great player to have on in that last quarter. You know, we saw Liv Sanson, the young gun, come on, but if it's down to the wire, you want it in the hands of a Plunkett and an Em Stewart.
And I think Maddie Plunkett was a real contender for the Urban Greys player of the day. She stood up in that last quarter, but we have our Urban Greys player of the day here in Grace Hay. Grace, congratulations. A fabulous 4-quarter effort from you today.
Yeah, it was really good. A really tight contest all through 4 quarters, but I feel like everyone played their role really well.
And Grace, you obviously came off a win last week, but a few games that probably were a little bit disappointing before that. So how do you feel with today's performance? Were you satisfied with the way the team played?
Yeah, I'm definitely satisfied with how we went. Yeah, the last couple of weeks we played haven't been our best quality of netball. So, yeah, I felt like we played really well today.
And what were the key instructions going into that last quarter? You obviously had the little bit of the lead, and then the Pigeons managed to claw it back and become really close. So what were Linda's words of wisdom going into that last quarter?
I feel like possession netball is always the way to go when you're that few goals up in that last quarter. So I feel like we played that really well in that last quarter.
And given how close that was, you guys will be an absolute contender for finals. So will the Pigeons. Obviously, you've still got quite a few rounds to come, but does that give you a bit of a taste for what finals netball could be like this year?
Yeah, and I definitely think it would give us a bit of confidence when we play them again coming finals. So, yeah.
And Grace, you're coming up against your old coach in Sarah Moore.
Yeah.
How do you go playing against her? I'm sure it's on some level intimidating and on some level a challenge, but do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it. She's such a great player.
Well done. You had a great game.
Thank you.
Awesome. And that is Grace Hay, our Urban Greys player of the day. Congratulations, Grace, and congratulations to the Lavington Panthers.
So, ladies, what a game. A nail-biter down to the last minute. Tam, you were on the sidelines the whole game. How did the crowd play an impact in today's result?
They both got really loud. My legs were shaking. I felt like I was playing. It was such a fantastic finish to but the momentum kept shifting. You know, one team would, Lavington would extend and Yarrawonga would come back and Lavington would extend again and respond. So, the benches, the noise just sort of kept ebbing and flowing. But, I think Lavington really just wanted that possession netball, just control it. Yarrawonga were really sort of asking their players to go and do something different, to break the game open. What are we going to do different that's going to change this? this up. I heard them in that last huddle say, let's play Yarra brand of netball. So probably went on the attack a bit more. And look, Lavington had enough of a lead there at times to be able to maintain it and get over the line.
And I think in that last quarter, it was a tale of goal shooters. Sarah Moore and Maddie Plunkett. Maddie Plunkett really stood up today. I reckon it'll be interesting to see her goal percentage because I don't think there were many. And if any, I think she got 80% of the rebounds of her missed shots. As Sarah Moore, she was instrumental going back into goal shooter. I think she really just took control of that circle and probably alleviated a little bit of pressure on Maddie Allen. So it'll be interesting if when they play in that combination again, if they go back to that with Sarah Moore in goal shooter, just gives her a chance to take a breath, I think, to watch and to really take that leadership. But yeah, Maddie Plunkett in that circle, I think she really just kept composure, took a few unbalanced shots and really made them count for the Panthers.
And look, we spoke about Yarrawonga's defensive pressure was so high, but what that did was that forced Lavington to be patient, play the short ball and work it. And they were allowing Maddie to open up under the post. So she really wasn't taking too many long-range shots. She was shooting from under the post, which is always what you want as a shooter. So, you know, credit to them. They were able to sort of weather the storm. I really love the connection between Tilly Kennedy and Sarah Moore. And I think when Sarah dropped back, we saw that even more. The difference I felt in the last quarter too, that didn't necessarily work for or against either side, but we saw Yarrawonga still going for some really long balls, long drives, and did so beautifully. You know, the coordination and skill they showed to pull that off in the wet conditions was outstanding. So, you know, a dry court would just be phenomenal to see both teams in full flight.
And I think, oh, sorry, Hannah, I think wing defences for both teams played a really instrumental role. Steph Clancy was really great. She takes a lot of the messy, scrappy balls off the ground. She gets in and gets those, whereas Laura Ryan, she does the really hard work off the ball. And a credit to Maddie Lloyd, Laura Ryan worked really hard to keep her off the circle, and she didn't try and feed too much from out there. She opted to revert back to their defenders on that transverse line and to drive again, and sometimes really pulling some of those circle defenders with her. So I think both wing defences, their transitional game, bringing the ball down the court, really assists both teams, and I think that was great. And yeah, Maddie Lloyd was really good in that attack end, just keeping it nice and calm for the Panthers.
Well, ladies, we saw 2v3 today. Lavington now second, and next week we will have the ladder leaders Cora Rutherglen as they come up against the Albury Tigers in Tigertown in Albury. So what a game that's going to be. Cora Rutherglen pretty much unbeatable, but the Tigers really building as well.
And they just want to win. They need pretty much for the rest of the season to win as many games as they can to really pressure that fifth spot. They're only 2 points behind fifth, and their percentage really meets that. So I think they'll be looking to Alison Miani and Sky Hillier to really work our Tony Wilson medalist in Grace. Oh, I've just lost names. I've just had a mind blank in Sophie Hanrahan and the likes of Chloe.
Get that name?
I know. Chloe Senior and Grace Senior in their shooting end. So it'll be really interesting. And I think what Panthers now have is they've got a 1-goal buffer on the Pigeons. So now Yarrawonga's job will be to maintain that third spot and see where that falls. But I think, next week could go either way because the Tigers will just want to win.
Well, Tamara Matthews, our sideline reporter today. It's been amazing to have you. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun.
And Ree Dolahanty, we'll see you next week too.
Yes, thanks, Hannah, and thanks everyone for listening. And this has been O&M Live, and on O&M Live, you won't miss a thing.
Watching the game at home is good, but watching the game on the big screen with all your mates, all the atmosphere and the great food and beer is pretty hard to beat. And it's all here at the locker room at the SSNA.
0.0% alcohol. This changes everything.
Rewrite the rules. Carlton 0.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Looking for somewhere great to eat? Check out Social Dining and Bar. And right now, you can get a seafood basket, served with chips, salad and tartare sauce from just $18. Come and be part of it all at Social Dining and Bar at the SSNA.
From entertainment to news and subscriptions in between, manage select subscriptions in one place with Optus SubHub. Streamline your paid subscriptions and save up to 10%. It starts with yes.
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care. I love it.
Go where you can live and learn locally. Go where there's industry qualified trainers. Go where students come first. Go for the community. Go for the choice of 120 courses across 11 campuses. Go where there's free TAFE. Go for it with GoTAFE.
Adroit Insurance and Risk, your local insurance advisor, able to tailor insurance programs to support your business.
And we're proud to support our local community.
The new Nissan Navara has landed at McRae Nissan with a tougher, more rugged design, Nissan intelligent mobility, advanced off-road capabilities, and a host of on-road refinement. Test drive one today at McRae Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kylie King. I first fell in love with this region as the Prime News sports presenter. Sometimes this feels like my second home. I love our historic towns and vibrant cities, our passion for sport, and of course the people who make it special. And now I get to share what's important in our region with Kev Polton. So join us, Kylie and Kev for breakfast, weekday mornings from 6 on 2AY and 3NE.